So it's our preview of the Greenfield Foods Senior Championship Final. We're joined by the committee members, management and indeed the captain of the Scotstown team. They're no strangers at this stage to these previews. A fifth consecutive final, going looking for 3 in a row, but I'm sure all that has been put away and not thought of. Just looking forward to the big day and preparing for the opposition of Magheracloone. Donald, does that be talked about, these consecutive finals and going for 3 in a row and stuff like that, or is it just prepare, go, it's just another game?
No, it doesn't really. It sounds like an obvious answer, but it doesn't. Like, we have new management team, a lot of new players and all the rest, so there'll be boys winning their first medal, boys winning their, going for their second, so, and that type of thing doesn't be talked about. It's, I suppose it's a game, and that's about the height of it.
It goes to show the panel that's there and maybe the players that's coming and going, as you remarked, some maybe entering into a first championship final and looking to try and get their hands on the McDuffie for the first time.
Yeah, it is a massive occasion, like, and that comes with its own stresses and pressures and nerves and that as well. So I suppose the last day or two, you can enjoy the day or two after the semi-final, and then all of a sudden you realise what's ahead of you, and then, as I say, the nerves start to kick in after that.
I was just going to say, obviously, you are well prepared, I should say, maybe, but I was going to say, are you well prepared? Do you still get nervous yourself even coming up to the day?
Oh, absolutely, whether it's first round game or quarter final, semi final, whatever the case may be. There was a lot on the line, so you're nervous about the result, nervous about your own performance. So each man to their own, but I'd be very surprised if there's no man without nerves. Once
the ball goes in, they all disappear, but
yeah, hopefully that's what you're hoping for. Like, you're hoping that doesn't affect things like your handling, decision making, and all the rest. Like, and so far, I think the boys have coped with that fairly well. But you definitely hope that the nerves go out the window.
Indeed, is right. Look forward to it. Mick McCormick is selector with the side alongside me here as well. I was just recalling when I was coming over here, The Great Escape is a very popular film on at Christmas. I'm thinking there's a certain DVD that could outsell it over time. Ballybay against Scotstown in Clonus, Mick. 8 minutes of injury time, 8 points down, and you somehow draw it.
Yeah, Sean, I suppose that's right. I suppose you said that lady luck shone on us that day, so probably you need a bit of luck, but it was a tough game and we were very happy to get away with a draw that day. So then the replay was another tough game, so we had 2 tough games against Ballybay, and it probably we're in county final now, which we're delighted to be in, and it's great for the parish and it's great for the club and it's great for the players and the families of the players, but it's great to be back in a county final. But we had 2 tough games, and we're probably had tough games throughout the championship, even against Latin. We just got there by the narrowest of margin by 1 point. But we're facing into a Magheracloone team that has experience and youth, and it's going to be very tough. We've just 2 weeks to prepare for that. Otherwise, if we had won our first game, we would have 3 weeks. But so we fellas with knocks on that, and it'll take them a while to recover. But hopefully, we'll be ready for the day.
As a management team, and I know that was the close one, that one in Ballybay, and it'll be talked about for many years. Lady luck will always play a part, no doubt, for either side, but you had to be maybe deep down thinking the experience of this team, no panic as such. They kept plugging away. It wasn't going to go away from them, the game, and the experience of being there and knowing what the big game is about stood to them.
That's right, Chad. We've a team full of experience, and with new management this year with Kieran Donnelly and Fergal Quinn, and they put in a serious effort in, and the team has worked very, very hard. And it's very hard to keep coming back. But Scotstown probably showed their determination, their guts that day in Clonus when we got the draw. Everybody had us written off that day, but thankfully we came out and we just got a draw at the end, and we lived to fight another day. But the second game against Ballybay was a tough game too, and they could have went anyway. And we were probably just happy to get out with that result,
It's good preparation for a team as well. You don't want to be just walking into these finals. You want to be challenged. You want to be tested. You've got that.
Well, yeah. We've been tested all year, and every team's out to play against us hard. And Magheracloone will be no different. They beat Ballybay first time out, and then they went and they beat Latin. So they have plenty of experience and youth, as I said, on their side, and it's going to be a tough game. All you can do is prepare for the final and put your team out and just hope for the best, and that's it.
Indeed. It's a good time to be a chairman of Scotstown Club, Stephen. They're coming thick and fast, these county finals and the appearances, and the McDuffie's kind of taking a residency over there as well. It's a big boost to the club and to the parish. No matter how often you're in them, it's still a big occasion.
Of course, Sean. You never get sick of county finals. I know. Obviously in 2013 it was 20 years previous to that, so we didn't know anything about it. So since that we're really enjoying it, and we're determined to try and get there every year if we can.
Yeah, it's interesting you noted that big gap there was between the previous success that Scotstown would have had, and that's why you can never take it for granted getting to these big days. No, certainly not. It's been talked about. Over this last few years, the squad of players that we have now at the minute, and they're once in a generation. You get teams like that coming through, and it's important that you try and make the best of it when you have it, and try and be as successful as you can, Well, you're certainly doing that over there at the moment, and even right down to underage. I'm sure you see the benefit and the bounce of it back to the youngsters. Of course, they're coming, they're seeing the silverware coming, they're looking at the players, these are their idols, and that brings everything along. Yeah, certainly, that's what we're teaching them out there. This is what we have to aim for, this trophy here. So Mc Duffy and of course there's a lot of children out. The Future Blues Academy is thriving there at the minute, and success helps that for sure. It certainly does. Donald, you'd be conscious all the time of players coming behind in that as well, and you'd be thinking yourself, obviously you can never be guaranteed your position on the team. You'll always be thinking there could be someone there, and there will be someone there to come and try and take it, no matter when or where you're playing. Yeah, I think we've been lucky enough this year, with the injuries that we've had. We have a good, strong squad with boys that have come off the bench. I think if you look at the line out that finished the first day against Ballybay, it was, to a lot of people, they mightn't be very familiar names, but to us, when we were whatever points down, those are the boys that were trusted, and those are the boys that were through on to try to get us back in the game, and they did it. So it's great credit to the depth of our squad that we did sort of slog that out. What was it like that day in Clones? 8 points down, getting into the injury time, and you just kept plugging away. It must have felt like a win. Obviously it was a draw, but it was an incredible comeback. Yeah, I'd say we plugged away, but it was probably for personal reason, just to not give up. I'd say, there wouldn't have been too many of the boys in the field realistically thought with 5 or 10 minutes to go that we were going to get anything out of it, but we did plug away, and we got a huge stroke of luck. So I suppose it's a lesson to anyone if you do plug away. But yeah, it was a strange feeling, I suppose, getting spending the last 15 or 20 minutes thinking, right, that's us out of the championship and our reign's over, to all of a sudden thinking, right, we're now with another chance, and we felt extremely fortunate, and maybe that it was slightly undeserved. So it was a very strange feeling. I was just going to say, I know the luck has been talked about, but I'm assuming deep down somewhere as well, there's an element of experience, there's an element of, you remarked there, that we're not just going to let the rain go that quick. Yeah, because I suppose it is, again, there is credit to be taken out of it there somewhere, that boys that come on, as I say, won frees, got kick scores, Big Frank ended up flicking the ball into the net. I suppose it's no fluke from his point of view that he was capable of doing that. So, again, we were lucky enough just to, as far and all as we were behind them, we were lucky just to keep just about within touching distance, and we got very lucky then.